What's going on, guys? Alright, so we're back working on the truck in the garage. Still hadn't gotten put metal on the outside yet. I've got some of the metal, so we're gonna turn this kind of into a permanent thing here. Also, we're gonna get another one of these for 500 bucks. Put it to get, like, literally tie the other one to this one. We're gonna keep this door open at all times. Just have a big 40-foot long garage. Won't be able to cover it in metal, but it will. The other one will be covered in metal too. You know, I got about the floor system for it. Built all this myself, of course, as you can tell. But hey, it works great. No leaks, nothing. Especially when I put the metal on, it's gonna last forever. But anyway, main subject today. This is my old MPFI conversion, stock 19-pound fuel spider. 19-pound fuel injectors on it. Okay. Ran damn great, you know. I love the conversion, you know, the conversion kits they come with. But with the size cam I have in it, I'm running out of fuel injector. That's my problem. You also have to get that tuned, so you have to take a PCM. And let me tell you guys something. The 411 swap is a complete waste of time. You know, I talked to a guy who has, you know, his own shop, who's been dealing with these specific trucks, these specific setups right here, for 25 years, you know, since the first one came out. And he's dynoed everything you could think of, every kind of intake setup you could think of, single plane, fuel injected, you know, high rise, dual plane, carbureted, blah, blah, blah. I mean, keep going. You know, he's done every kind of setup you can think of on these trucks, every kind of intake setup. And it always came back to best bang for your buck, you know, and that's right here. Your VMAX spacer, right? Your bigger throttle body, which I have over here. And it's a BBK 80mm. You can find cheaper ones. 80mm, right? This right here. Look at that. Got it on a little spinner or anything there. That throttle body there. BBK 80mm. Okay? Now, one thing I never did quite do was finish boring out the plastic upper plenum. You see where back here, in the back there, I had bored it out, started boring it out. Got that pretty good. We're gonna clean up a little more. See here in the front? See the problem we got? What's the point in having an 80mm throttle body if you can't have the same opening as the throttle body? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our multi-tool, leave the throttle body on it, and we're going to basically bore or port and take some of this material off right here until it sits flush like it does here, where it's flush right there. That needs to be flush right here. That's perfectly flush right there. See right there? I know it looks a little raggedy, but hey, it does exactly what it's supposed to. See how it's flush right here? Got the light. Right here. To where that's going to be flush all the way around. Right now, see that? See how much meat needs to be taken out? Now the only problem with that, which isn't really a problem, easily resolved, is you're going to have to use blue RTV sealant. Your gasket will no longer do anything. You might as well throw it away, put it in the garbage. Hopefully, you know, pulling this paper gasket, it'll stay together. If not, blue RTV solves everything as far as that problem comes. But you'll want to use the blue RTV after you do that. So anyway, back to the intake thing. So this guy, been doing it 25 years, you know, dynoed every setup you could think of, and it always came back to the stock setup modified with spacer, the throttle body, the fuel injection, you know, having the cam, the Vortec heads, if you already know, are, you know, from the factory, a well flowing head. Very well, and the key to these heads being so good, it's not necessarily the size of the intake runner. It's the perfect setup because you want intake port velocity, not CFM, velocity, how fast it can fill the cylinders. And with this setup here, with this intake, you know, the runners on these intakes, absolutely nothing wrong with them. Increase that plenum volume with this spacer and get that air up under and around this spider better. That's what the spacer's for. It's not for you know, it helps with horsepower. It doesn't just build horsepower. But if you got a cam and that cam's pulling all that air in and it's, you know, restricting it, because what happens is they give you this spacer here for the spider, and that's gonna raise the spider up, which helps air get underneath it also. Not to mention, it just increases the entire plenum volume by a lot. I mean, and it really gets air to them rear cylinders, those rear intake runners back here. You see? So it's overall, you know, a better performance. Performance-minded way to go. You know, you're gonna spend, you know, easily $1,000, you know, doing a, you know, intake swap on these trucks. When, bro, stick with these, you won't be sorry. People think that they're not that good flowing, but when you use these tools and these bolt-on parts with the bigger cam, with the upgraded fuel injectors, all the stuff I just showed you, not to mention, if you do the bigger cam, you already know you're gonna have to swap out to the LS6 Blue Beehive valve springs, so you don't smash your valve stem seals and bind up your springs because of the big cam lift. You're gonna have to do that with these Vortec heads. That's kind of one of the downsides, is the valve stem seal boss. See, I've been thinking about really going with an upgraded Vortec head with the valve stem seals, you know, trimmed down, or I might just take these heads and trim them down myself. They make a, Comp Cams makes a tool to trim down the valve stem guides to where you can run a bigger lift cam. So I'm probably gonna do that. And also, they make another tool that you can, you know, you can pull the studs and put screw-in studs, because that's another problem. The bigger the cam, the more susceptible that it becomes to pulling the studs out. Right now, so far, I've gotten lucky. I've been checking, and with a straight edge and everything is hunky-dory, you know. Also went with roll tip rocker arms. That helps with friction. With friction comes horsepower loss. The less friction you have, the more horsepower you can free up. So today what we're doing is swapping out this fuel injector spider. And no, this did not come from Summit Racing. I just put it in this box because it fit better than the box it came in. So this injector and spider here, it came from a guy named Keith. You can look him up from, you know, he's from PCM for Less. Don't know if you guys heard of him. If you haven't, you should. Oh, so what we got here is a 36, upgraded to 36 pound fuel injectors. He also upgrades the fuel pressure regulator, which which is definitely a must when going with bigger fuel injectors. The fuel pumps on these trucks are good for about, I can't remember, I think it's 100 some, I can't remember. They're good up to about 46 pound injectors, the stock fuel pumps on these things. So if you plan on going to something like 62 pound or whatever, you're gonna have to swap out your fuel. And if you're going that big, you're boosted. You know, you're boosting. You don't need that big injector. This right here, these are 36 pound injectors. What he does is he guts them. You know, he puts all new internals into the fuel injectors. Puts his own little stamp on it right there. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. We are going with a new 36-pound upgraded fuel injector, which is going to be awesome. All right, I'm gonna have a stock pound fuel MPFI fuel injector set up for sale. $100. I'll let it go. It runs perfect. You know, this fuel injector is in great shape. Great shape. Just discolored, of course, from normal use. You know, it's about a 1.5 years old. It's ran great. I love it. But I need more fuel. So, anyway, that's what we got going on today, guys. I'll get back with you when we got installed. A video of it running. No tune. Alright, we got the 36-pound spider injectors installed. Brand new. Yep. So we got all that installed. And there's also, when you install these things, there's a certain orientation that the tubes go in. You see how this number 3 fuel injector tube goes over the number 1 fuel injector tube. That's so that they fit, you know, right, and they don't get, you know, bound up, or one can't be pushed all the way down to the bore. Because if I had these the other way, this one underneath that one, it wouldn't go all the way down to the bore. So that's one thing. And sometimes if you get these, you know, wrong, like say, you know, if you put this one underneath that one instead of the way it is right now, it can be a pain in the butt to, you know, pull these back out, because a lot of the time the pintle tubes will get stuck into the bores, and, you know, no fun there. Just try to shove it back in there and work it loose. So don't do that. Make damn sure you got these things in the right orientation. And if you don't know, let's go on and go through it. All right. So here we got injector 2, and you see which way I'm facing the truck, looking at it. Fuel pressure regulator is on the passenger side. This over here, the studs are on the driver's side. Okay, so we got injector 2, 4, 3, 1. All right, let's start with injector 3 and 1. All right, always remember this. Injector 1 goes underneath injector 3. Okay, and also, if you don't know which bore the injector goes in, there is, see if we can see it, they're numbered. Okay, can you see right here? There's a, right there, there's a number 2 right here. Shadow's hitting it just right. Right there. Okay, so anyway, there's a number 2 right there. And then up here, right there where my finger's pointing, you can see the number 4. Okay. So they're all numbered. See that? 2 and 4. They're all numbered. So, anyway, number 3 goes over number 1. Okay, number 3 here goes over number 1. Now here, we've got 2 and 4. Okay, number 4 goes over number 2. And sometimes, and you see these connectors here, you know, you may have to take it and twist it, and it'll do that, it's fine. So that the connectors aren't on top of each other, to where, you know, you're not able to push these all the way down into the bores. Just wiggle them, make sure you got them all pushed down. You know, you'll hear a click sometimes when they push out, but if it doesn't click, just make sure, you know, it's pushed, like I said, all the way down into the bore, as far as it can go. So, yeah, so number 4 goes over number 2. And in the back, is where we get, where it's harder to see, of course. So, as you can see here, we got injector 5 and 7 right here. Okay, number 7 goes over number 5, and then over here we got 6 and 8. Okay, number 6 and 8 over here. Okay, so Number 6 goes over number 8. Number 6 goes over number 8. And then note the way that the connectors are positioned. The way the connectors are positioned. The way the connectors are positioned. And over here, the way they are positioned. Okay? Alright. Oh yeah. So next step. Next step is to grease or use a little bit of oil on this O-ring here, so that the plenum slides over it. That's going to be your next thing. When you get the plenum on and over it, you know, try to see it won't seat all the way down to your flange here, so you have to push it down. Be careful. Do not break it. Make sure it goes in square. Do not let it go in cockeyed. You know, have the manifold tilted this way or that way, or in, you know, front. Just make sure it goes squarely over this thing. Okay. If not, you could break something, and you have to make sure that this is greased. You know, put a little grease over here also, because it's gonna come over, and it's, you know, it's got a lip on it, so it may touch here a little bit. But yeah, definitely make sure you got this greased up or oiled up, so it slides over it. And then also put a little bit of oil or grease onto the upper plenum, or bore where the spider injector goes. All right. Also, for those of you who may have been thinking about going with a bigger throttle body on your upper plenum, I got a multi-tool here with a diamond tip on it. You can use sanding, cartridge roll, or whatever. The stone doesn't work too good. It just heats it up and melts it, so you're not really going to get anywhere with that. And I didn't try the cartridge roll, but I'm pretty sure they'll work good. What turned out best for me was that diamond tip bit. And so we bored it out. Look at that. Look at that, boy. We got her flushed up now. We got her looking good, man. Alright, and you see how I use the RTV here? Now, if you're gonna use see, I kind of recommend putting the throttle body on first with the gasket. When you start taking some of the material off on the side, you're gonna start eating away into some gasket. Don't eat too much of it out. Just get it as close as you can. I did take a good amount of material out of here, a lot. And what I did was I went and got some silicone RTV, put it up over here, underneath there, and then on top of the exposed gasket. Sealed it up, made sure it was nice and covered real dang good. Real dang good. And that's pretty much what you want to do when you go and get your bigger throttle body. BBK is expensive, but I do recommend it. Spider cell. Also, when you take the bolts out of your manifold, kind of knock this around, but anyway, I still kind of got it in the orientation that it goes. This one obviously goes here in that hole. So I kind of drew a picture of how it goes, and that way you keep up with, you know, 'cause some bolts are longer than others. Some have studs, some have bolts. That's if you're using this. Other than that, I think you're pretty much gonna have all studs. I can't remember. I haven't had a stock, you know, studs or bolts or whatever it is for a while now. But the spacer on here for about 2 years. All right, guys, so that's what I got going on. Next video will be up and running.